we have another undisputed fight with all the belts on the table. And this time, it's not all the way over in the US of A. It's right here on British shores. We will be covering these fights.
Actually, no, it's in Dublin.
It's in Dublin, apologies.
Britain.
But we will be covering these fights as well. So like I say, make sure you like and subscribe, hit the bell notification, because we're going to be covering these live. But yeah, we have Katie Taylor this weekend against Chantel Cameron.
The Queen of Ireland.
Yeah. I'll do a quick tail of the tape again. Katie Taylor, 36 years old, 22 fights, unbeaten record, 6 KOs, 5'5", 66-inch reach, and currently holding IBF, WBA, WBC, and WBO lightweight titles. Chantel Cameron, 32, 17 fights, 8 KOs, 5'8", 69-inch reach, IBF, IBO, WBA, WBC, and WBO super lightweight titles. So a very, very competitive fight.
Another crossroads fight.
Both these people are over 30, so it's not quite the same dynamic as the Lomachenko fight, but it is one that both these fighters need. It was meant to be a rematch with Amanda Serrano, who had to pull out of the fight. And as a result, we've got this. They're both in the Matchroom stable, so this is the fight that got made.
Good fight.
Not on the same level as the Serrano fight, though.
I'll go to the person with Irish blood and the same hairdresser as Katie Taylor. James.
I do not have the same hairdresser as Katie Taylor. I'm just a man with long hair that's got some highlights. I don't know where that's sprung in there. And I
definitely weren't talking about
I wouldn't say I've got Irish blood. I don't really have.
I asked you, have you got any Irish heritage?
Yeah, like a tiny bit.
I asked him before the show.
I'm an Armenian.
I heard you ask him.
Yeah, and I literally like 100th maybe. If you go down my mother's lineage, there's probably I'm half English, so there's a bit of Irish in there, whatever.
So yeah, what do you think of this fight?
Look, I don't know. Personally for me, it's not a fight that gets me off the edge of my seat. You know, the Amanda Serrano.
You've not seen it yet.
I know. The Amanda Serrano fight, it has a lot going into it. A lot of people, I mean, you said yourself, you thought she was robbed. I would have still given that fight to Katie Taylor. There's a big storyline behind it. Of course, I watched the fight. I thought it was a very close fight. It was a very close fight.
It was a very good fight. It was a close fight. You could argue, but me personally, I thought Serrano won it clearly. But hey,
that's why you go into it. Then you have the debates and the talking
really
points.
Quickly before we continue as well, just for a bit of boxing history and trivia for you guys. This is an opportunity for there to be only the third two-way undisputed champion. Do you know who the other two people were that held that record?
Clarissa Shields got to be one of them.
Clarissa Shields is one of them, yeah.
Savannah Marshall,
Evander Holyfield.
Oh, sorry.
I thought you were talking about women's division.
No, with all boxing.
I was going to say, when did Evander Holyfield fight in the women's division?
Should have made that clear. 2023. So yeah, England.
That's a crime.
England.
For me, this fight. Listen, they're both quality operators. Katie Taylor, we all know, legend, Olympic gold medalist, 5-6-time amateur champion, world amateur champion. Unbeaten as a pro.
Does she have an argument to go down as the greatest woman boxer of all time?
Some people might.
I know Clarissa Shields. I mean, she's branded herself the GOAT for a reason, but
I'd go Clarissa Shields over that.
I personally would, but you know, there's got to be an argument, though. There's got to be a conversation.
Personally, I would go for Clarissa Shields, but some people, for some reason, still seem to say Katie Taylor. Maybe it's longevity. I don't know. But anyway, sorry, what was your question?
How do you see the fight going down? Do you think that the atmosphere, it's a bit of a homecoming fight for her going back to fight in Dublin, which I do like to see. We watched Canelo go and fight in Mexico, and it didn't go. He won the fight, but it actually didn't go maybe quite the way that he wanted it to.
You could see a similar type of scenario here because, again, we're talking about an established legend of the game in Katie Taylor that has hit the peak, plateaued, and I would say, given her last couple of performances, is slightly on the slide. Doesn't mean to say that she deteriorated to the point where she's no good, because she might have one last hurrah. But I've been very impressed also with Chantel Cameron. I saw when she won the title, because she's a current holder of the light welterweight titles they'll be fighting for, and she fought a girl called Jessica McCaskill in America and whooped her ass, basically. And I thought she looked really good. So,
and Jessica McCaskill's fairly well thought of in the. Yeah, she's not top, but she's fairly well thought of.
Yeah, well, she was a champion, and to be fair, Chantel Cameron went and took her belts off her with relative ease. A lot of people saying that was a 50-50 fight. Chantel Cameron, to be honest, boxed her ears off.
I
So
could
that would
see-
indicate that she's coming into some sort of prime.
Yeah.
But the problem I have with this fight, and I'll keep it brief because I know James is going to want to come in. Chantel Cameron will enjoy the physical advantages. She's a naturally bigger woman. Yeah,
47%
Stronger.
knockout rate to 27%.
Yeah, but with women's boxing, the knockouts don't really apply in the same way with men. She's not going to knock out Katie Taylor. But anyway, what my point is for this fight is they're both good operators. Chantel Cameron's probably reaching her prime, her peak years. So normally I would have a favourite to win this fight, clearly. Because I have seen a bit of deterioration in Katie Taylor. As good as she's been, I do see deterioration in it. However, and I said this to you off air, and I'm going to say it again now, trying to get a decision over Katie Taylor full stop is almost nigh and impossible. Doing
Let
it in
alone in
Ireland,
Dublin.
a homecoming fight is literally impossible. So for that reason, I'm going for Katie Taylor. But it could well be one of those we're all here next week saying, how the hell did that happen? You know what I mean? Because you've seen it with Amanda Serrano, although that was in New York. To me, Serrano won clearly. And even worse than that, a few years ago, she fought Delphine Persoon, a woman from Belgium, came over here, basically kicked Katie Taylor's ass. They fought twice. The first
fight
fight,
wasn't
she
competitive.
won hands down, more, pretty much every round, didn't get it. They had the rematch. I thought, personally, Persoon won that as well, although you could argue it was closer.
So is it safe to say you think it's going to be another politic job?
Absolutely.
Home cooking. James, what do you think?
I think it is going to be home cooking. I think it's going to be Dublin, Ireland, and I think it's going to be one-way traffic. Like you said, I don't see Katie Taylor getting knocked out personally, and without it being a knockout, if it does go the distance, she's got too much class, too much skill. As I said before with the Canelo fight, form is temporary, class is permanent. I just don't see, she's not on Katie Taylor's level. She's just not. And I know Katie Taylor's on the slide. I know the Serrano fight wasn't as convincing. I know she's not looked at the peak of her powers, but even then, I think she's going to be setting up traps for her. It's going to be a long, long night.
For me, I'm going to gamble. I'm going to say I think that Katie Taylor gets stopped inside the distance, late rounds. But I think Chantel
you willing
Cameron's-
to put a round on
makes
it?
you-
I'm not betting money
Let me draw you out on that. Why do you think that?
Just sort of rate the physical advantages. I think if she boxes smart, I think she knows that if her coach says anything like what we've said, she'll know that she needs to drop her in order to guarantee herself a wide margin. And I do believe that she's got the power. I think she has. I know that the power isn't the same as in women's boxing, but in the world of women's boxing, I do actually rate Chantel Cameron's power. So
Yeah, I mean,
that's what,
she for a woman's boxer, I mean, let's
hits hard.
face it, women's boxing, they don't get
And
a
it's a
lot
bit
of
of wishful
knockouts.
Good knockout rate, like I said, 47% knockout rate. It's nothing to be slouched at.
Hitherto, Katie Taylor has a very good chin and she's got a lot of heart and guts. So
Especially
she may
in her
well get hurt.
hometown.
Amanda Serrano hurt her quite badly in that
Yeah.
fight and she recovered. It could well be the same thing here. But I just think, and listen, it's just me being me. I've been in the game a long time. I've seen a lot of things. I know how these things run.
Yeah.
If Katie Taylor's basically standing up at the end of that fight, she gets her hand raised.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. Right. Laurie said hitherto, which means it's time to move on to different topics.
No, hitherto means
Hitherto.
before.
I know, but I'm just saying when he starts going into old man speak, it's just time to move on.
I quite like hitherto.
Yeah.
I think we should make it a thing.
Reminds me of Doctor Strange.
I don't know what
Hitherto
Doctor
on
Strange
scene,
is
he says-
personally.
Hey, listen, man, I'm old school. I like to. My mum brought
Mr.
us up
Old School.
to, you know what I mean?
Right.